You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Welcome everybody to the NBL Live pregame show. I'm Sonny Weaver, and alongside me tonight, the man who needs no introduction, the one, the only, Bomber. How you doing, Bomber?
And we're back to that. I'm doing great. Saturday, feeling good. Some college football today, NFL tomorrow, and in between time, we got some NBL action. So, in a must-win for both of these teams. So, I'm really excited to see this game get underway.
And I am myself. First off, we'd like to thank our sponsor, web3ks.com. Make sure you go check out web3ks.com for all your affordable graphic needs. I know we use them here on the NBL Network. Very appreciative of the work they do. So let's go ahead and let's look at some of the things we've been doing here on the network. The big one, last night we get the Commissioner Corner podcast. And Bomber, I don't know, I heard you may have something to do with that.
Yeah, the Commissioner Corner podcast, episode number 26 was yesterday. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you check it out. It's got some great information and news around the league, what's going on. Also, we give our dark horse picks at the very, very end of the episode. We talk about the Indianapolis Colts without Andrew Luck. Do they have a chance in the division against the Tennessee Titans? These teams are going back and forth, back and forth. We gave our opinions and thoughts on who we think would edge who out. And I just like the dark horse segment. It really gives you some insight on a team that's kind of rolling right now, that's kind of flying under the radar late, but they're getting hot. And we've seen teams get hot at the end of NBL seasons and make some really, really intriguing playoff runs.
Yeah, if you haven't checked that out, I highly suggest you go take a quick look at that one. I know the dark horse segment may surprise some people. Not going to spoil that here tonight, but go ahead and take a look at that one. So let's go ahead and we will take a look at the players to watch for NBL Live episode number 145. First up on the docket here is the Seattle Seahawks, and that's going to be linebacker Bobby Wagner. Looking at his stats this year, I think the most impressive thing to me is he's had 10 passes deflected. The guy is everywhere in coverage.
Yeah, this guy's actually, I think, and I know this is going to sound crazy because they got the Legion of Boom. You know, you have Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Wham Bam, Cam Chancellor. But I think this guy right here, we're looking at him, Bobby Wagner, is kind of the key to not just the middle of the field. I think he stops the run. I think he plays coverage. And I think he's great support and leadership on this defense. And he makes this defense go. A defense that many thought was kind of having it down here, but recently they've kind of been carrying the load. I know the team's only 6-7, but this is a top 10 defense. They're 7th against the pass, 5th against the rush, only giving up 16 points per game, and I think he is the main reason why.
Shout out to Cam Chancellor with the new nickname Wham Bam Cam Chancellor. That one is compliments of Bomber there. So now let's look at the other team in this matchup, the Oakland Raiders, and that all starts with Khalil Mack. They have him listed as a linebacker. We're going to see him everywhere today. He'll be lined up on the line in some nickel packages, but 11 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. The guy can get after the quarterback. How big of a disrupting force is he?
Yeah, it's a hybrid player right here with Khalil Mack. You said it best, you know. So as a quarterback, if I'm Russell Wilson, Sonny, I'm under center, I'm in shotgun, I'm looking around. Who is the first player in Oakland you got to identify and see where he's at on the field? Probably Khalil Mack. Would I be wrong in assuming that?
Oh, you always have to know where Khalil Mack's at on the field.
And that alone is kind of a disruptor. I think Bobby Wagner's presence helps his team, but I don't know if he's necessarily the guy you go, okay, where's Bobby Wagner at? And I think you kind of have an idea where he's going to be pre-snap. Khalil Mack, we've seen him on the left side, the right side, on the line, off the line, in the middle of the field. He literally is everywhere, and big shout out to Project Fat. When he was with him, he might have been inside on the D-line as well, so he was everywhere in the history of the Oakland Raiders. So you definitely have to identify where he's at, and that kind of makes him, what we like to say in Hollywood, a big deal.
Yeah, Khalil Mack, he maybe even play safety. I don't know. He probably could do it. He's a freak athlete. You know, we love us some Khalil Mack here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move a little bit forward. Make sure you post your guys' predictions in the chat for this game. Obviously, it's a huge game for both teams. Oakland's still trying to get back into the wild card hunt, sitting at 7-6. They need a win tonight. And then when you look over in the NFC, Seattle really needs to get this win to try to get in the division hunt because they're not getting a wild card. So they need this win to take the division. Bomber, looking at this game, who do you like?
This is tough. Okay, so we have two teams kind of different. They're in the kind of a same situation right now, but they got there in very unique ways. The Seattle Seahawks are 6-7, and I think I could say this for both of us. Inconsistent throughout the year. They have that ability. You see that Super Bowl pedigree. They won NBL Season 26 Super Bowl. So we see those things and we go, well, that's the team I remember. And then the next week, you know, then they regress back to what we're seeing this year. So that inconsistency has plagued them, and they've kind of been one up, one down, one up, one down. As the Oakland Raiders started off the season, you know, I think they finished last year 12-4. They were a solid wild card team. And this year they got off to a decent start, but in the last 6 games, they've lost 5 of their last 6, and they've been struggling. Okay, so two teams that are essentially in situations where they must win now to keep their playoff hopes alive. They got here in 2 different ways. But for the actual season, I'm going to go ahead today and go out on a limb, and I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders and think this kind of slump ends. Seattle has been up and down all season, so I expect them to continue that play, but I know Oakland knows that they have to win to stay alive in that wild card hunt, as Seattle still can win their division, as they're just a half game behind Arizona right now. So I'm taking the Oakland Raiders. It's going to be close. I'm going to say 16-13 Oakland over Seattle.
The Bombers going with Oakland in a must-win game. So we're going to go ahead and head out to the stadium. NBL Live 145, Seattle versus Oakland, coming right at you.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Jake Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network. And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks who catches and makes a man miss.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again
into the end zone. Another touchdown.
And that is right. We are live, and we are in Seattle. And it's snowing, Sonny. It's a snow game. The first NBL Live snow game of the season. Seattle's at home trying to defend home field. They're 6-7. They're taking on the 7-6 Oakland Raiders. Oakland is going to receive first. So we're going to get to see that coveted free agent signing, Alshon Jeffrey, 28 years old. Sonny, he's got 35 catches, 744 yards. Production kind of was up, and then it kind of dropped off towards the end. And, you know, you're looking at 6 touchdowns this season for them. So for Alshon Jeffrey, he only had 2 last year, so production up as far as touchdowns, but I'd like to see his reception and yards go up, and I expect him to have a big game against the Seattle defense.
Yeah, Jeffrey's kind of supplanted Amari Cooper here in Oakland as the #1. I think we're going to see a lot of Richard Sherman on Jeffrey here tonight.
Injuries too. The #1 wide receiver in Oakland, Amari Cooper, he will not be playing tonight. Here we go, Derek Carr, single back formation, handoff to Richard. Richard has had a great year, and we have not seen Marshawn Lynch this is the 2nd season of this Madden 18 cycle. Are you surprised by that? No Marshawn Lynch at all. He's kind of been an afterthought for these Oakland Raiders. Only 21 carries and 118 yards this year.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch kind of hit that halfback wall. When you hit 30, you fall off a cliff quickly. I think they felt like that happened there in Oakland. Kind of regretting that signing, but nonetheless, they do have some backups there in Oakland to run the ball.
Big shout out to Bombers' #1 fan. He said he predicted the same score as me. There goes Jalen Richard trying to get the game going early. 2 carries, 19 yards. They're up to the 44, and that's a first down for the Oakland Raiders.
And I think we're seeing this strategy right now early in this game from Oakland. It's going to be a lot of running up the middle of this defense. They're going to try to attack it. Not going to try to push the ball downfield against this secondary. You've got Derek Carr, you've got Alshon Jeffrey, but nonetheless, that Legion of Boom's big, and they hit hard, and they can ball hawk, so you got to watch out for them.
Speaking of this Oakland Raider offense, Jalen Richards, are you kind of surprised that he's leading this attack? You know, he's 163 carries, 10 touchdowns, and 875 yards, and he's looked phenomenal as they give it to him on a little counter here, and he got some space. He runs into his own man, but he fumbles. Right on cue, a fumble from the Oakland Raiders, picked up by the Seattle Seahawks. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Cam Chancellor gets a big hit, and just like that, the Seattle Seahawks got the ball, and they create a turnover, and that's that defense we were talking about early in the segment.
Well, that's not a good way to be the main focal point of an offense, fumbling the ball here on the first drive. Big turnover here by Seattle. Seattle's defense really kind of leads this team, and if you're turning the ball over, it's going to be a long game here in Seattle.
Yeah, Jalen Richard has been pretty good with the ball this season. Not too many fumbles at the beginning. In the last 3 games, Sonny, 4 fumbles in the last 5 games for Jalen Richard. As here we go, Wilson's got space. He's taking it to the outside. He slides down. Thought he had a man open, but I'll tell you what, this snow is not favorable to the Seattle Seahawks because the colors of those Oakland Raiders jerseys.
It's like camouflage.
Yeah,
they're hiding in the snow. You won't see them, but you know, he missed the tight end on the streak down the middle of the field. He had him wide open probably for 20 or 30 yards. He's got to be able to see that pass.
And that's been problems with Russell Wilson early in his season, NBL season 28. He's really been struggling to get things done. Here we go. NBL season 27, excuse me. Handoff up the middle. There we go. Number 34 gets to the outside. Nowhere to go. It's going to be a 3rd and 8, excuse me, for the Seattle Seahawks.
And watch Russell Wilson. He move in the pocket, but also when he needs to, he can take off and run. If you're not giving him any pressure and he's looking downfield, not seeing what he needs, look for Russell Wilson to take off here and pick up this first down.
Russell has been struggling. 58% completion, 11 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, QBR of 73.9. That's down 30 from their championship run in NBL season 26. So in season 27, we have not seen the Russell Wilson we saw last year when they was winning championship. Wide open over the middle. He finds his man, takes a hit. Does he hold on to it? Yes, he does. Down to the 35-yard line. Seattle's moving the ball.
And that's Paul Richardson, a guy they really like to try to stretch the field. They move him into the slot there. He gets a good matchup. Finds a little crease in the zone, and he picks up the first down.
And here we go. I mean, that pass right there, Sonny, we saw the little post. I felt like he should have hit it earlier. They asked the defensive end to drop back into coverage, and there was a lot of space. It seems like Russell was a little late on that throw.
Yeah, Wilson still needs to work on his reads a little bit here.
And a little counter play. He's got a ton of room. It looks like he's going to get to the end zone. Number 34, touchdown. Seattle's on the board early, and the woes of the Oakland Raider defense continues. A team that's lost 5 of their last 6 games. Sonny, what do they have to do to change this pattern of just giving up too much in the first quarter?
Well, you've got to see formations and know what's the likely play to be ran out of it. We saw that double tight end stack to the right. Mainly what gets run out of that is that counter play. You should have called that switch, push to that side, and really expected that run there. So bad just knowing where you're at with that formation.
Yeah, and here's the situation. So Oakland got the ball to start the game. They drove down the field, made a couple nice runs from Jalen Richard. We were boasting him up, but he fumbles once again. And it looks like he's been taken out, and beast mode's time has come back to Seattle. Wow, isn't that the irony of that? If they can get on some kind of run with Marshawn Lynch being the reason why against this former team, the Seattle Seahawks, this could be a big deal and a big storyline in the NBL.
Yeah, big emotional boost here with Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. Look for him to give it to him here.
And here we go, single back formation, 2 wide receivers to the left. Watch out for Patterson, too. He's had a great year. Play action. Derek Carr's got time. He's looking. No, he doesn't have time no more. He throws it away. Nothing really open there, and the pressure from Seattle's front line gets to Derek Carr on a 4-man rush. Kind of an interesting play call there. You put Marshawn in the backfield. You think he's going to get the carries, but I think actually they probably benched Jalen Richard for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and really, Carr's rolling to the right. He kind of drifted there. I think if he stays in the pocket, it's not an issue, but when he started drifting, that defensive end got the corner.
And here we go. We got, again, single back formation, handoff. Marshawn Lynch, nowhere to go. No blocking. 72 takes him down.
That was quick.
It's going to be a 3rd and 13, and that's that good call. And it looks like Marshawn Lynch is down, and he might be out, Sonny. We might have an NBL breaking news alert coming up soon to figure out what's going on with Marshawn Lynch, but nonetheless, back in comes Jalen Richard.
Yeah, we're going right back to Jalen Richard. And now the problem is you've crushed his confidence. You've pulled him out after a fumble. And now you got to run back over to him and say, hey, we were just kidding. Go ahead and go on back out there for us.
And as the Raiders have lost 5 of their last 6 games, Richard has fumbled in 4 of his last 5 games now. And here we go. They say no. Empty backfield set. You see Jeffrey and Roberts to the left. To the right, you have Cooks, Adams, and Pete Patterson. Watch Cordarrelle Patterson on the go route here. They like to find him. They go over the top. Almost picked off. Was it? Yes, it was intercepted. Overthrow from Derek Carr. And Brock gets his first interception of the day. 2 turnovers in 2 possessions for the Oakland Raiders. They have to calm their nerves here on NBL Live broadcast number 145.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was an interception. They say Trumaine Brock got his feet down, but that looked kind of close to me.
Yeah, definitely a guy. If I see an interception like that on my defense, what do I start thinking? I said, why is he not on offense? You know, a team that has a lot of drops this year, toe-tapping interception like that really means well. As here we go, a little shallow cross to 84 coming across the field. No juke move. He decides to get out of bounds. Russell Wilson 2 for 2, 42 yards to start this game. And a shoulder strain from Marshawn Lynch. Did it say he's not coming back? Is he unable to return?
He is out for the game.
And I think he's out of Oakland. I think he's done. He's probably going to hang it up at the end of this year. He was not used much last year, Sonny. What are your thoughts on Marshawn Lynch in the 2 seasons he's put in with Oakland? It just didn't look like it worked out well.
Easily. He's irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Strong words from Sonny Weaver. The 10-6 underachiever. Play action, no. Handoff to number 34. Gets down to the 19-yard line. Thomas Rawls. How great has Thomas Rawls been for Seattle in this franchise as he was leading and starting for this team in NBL Season 26 when they won their first Super Bowl in the NBL. Kind of having a little bit of a, I think what y'all called that on Highly Debatable was a little bit of a Super Bowl slump, was it? Or what is it actually called? What's the term? Am I using it correctly? Super Bowl slump?
Well, a little Super Bowl slump, a little hangover there, but
Super Bowl hangover, yes,
they've gone as Thomas Rawls has gone over the years, and so they need to get him going early here.
Absolutely. Single back formation. 1 wide receiver wide in motion. Here it goes. A little handoff to the outside, and that's Richardson spinning for no reason and flipping for another reason. Big hit. Now, how big is it for Oakland's defense to go ahead and say, let's just hold them to 3, not put ourselves down 14 points. If we can just be down 10, let's spin that into some kind of positive early in this game.
Well, only being down 10 is, in fact, better than being down 14, so I'm sure they would be very welcome to do that.
Big shout out to Bob the Boss in the chat. Guys, to get your predictions in right now, if you guess the correct score by the end of the first quarter, you guess the final score, there might be a prize in there for you, courtesy of Sonny Weaver. What prize do you have lined up for everybody today, Sonny?
I will clue you in on the Sonny Weaver plays to watch for when you play the Seattle Seahawks.
What? You mean, and who's the owner of Seattle?
That would be Titan Rod Shafadon.
And we're already starting early. 4th and inches that they couldn't pick it up. Surprise a run on that 3rd down right there for Seattle. I'm not at all. That's what you expect from a team like Seattle. They're probably saying to themselves, let's come away with points and make sure we don't turn the ball over. As a team that's had a lot more turnovers in the air than they had the previous year, they're really trying to clean that up in Seattle and make sure they come away with points when they get inside the red zone.
Yeah, I was actually impressed with that because I thought they actually picked that up. They came up inches short, but if they pick that up, that becomes one of the best calls I've seen so far because really Oakland had no idea they were going to run that ball.
And here we go. The Seahawks predictions are flooding into the chat. Poke 51 Gaming says 24-10 Seattle. Play a partner says 20-6 Seattle. Are you giving up? What do you think, Sonny? Is this Oakland Raider prediction I had, is it gone in the wind now? I said 16-13 Oakland. I'm still feeling confident. If they can get a big play here, put Seattle back on their heels, we might see a little bit of a punt fest. As here we go, little drag route to Cordarrelle Patterson, who's kind of reinvented himself in Oakland. And who would have thought? You bring in Alshon Jeffrey, you got Amari Cooper out there. You know, you got some great weapons outside, but Cordarrelle Patterson is having himself quite the season so far. Let me tell you his stats so far for Cordarrelle Patterson. 22 catches, 468 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Second on this team. Amari Cooper only 10 catches, 213 yards. He has not been able to stay healthy. Are you surprised by the production of Patterson?
Cordarrelle Patterson coming out of Tennessee, they thought he was a speedster. They had to teach him how to catch, and that was the biggest thing. Now it seems that he's able to actually hold on to the ball, and the speed is now a valuable asset here for the team.
Little user juke to the outside for Richard as he catches the ball quick. 2 for 4, 21 yards, and a pick for Derek Carr as he slowly settles himself into NBL Live broadcast number 145. 10-0. You're down 10 points. You're on the road in arguably one of the toughest places in the NBL to play. Would you say Seattle is still has that kind of repertoire of being, you know, really having that 12th man and that home field advantage?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, Pittsburgh would have an argument for the toughest place to play, but Seattle was definitely still up there.
And here we go, out route to the sideline. Derek Carr just a little bit off, finds Alshon Jeffrey, though. He does catch it and pick it up. See, when I see that kind of separation that Alshon Jeffrey got, as they're obviously respecting the deep ball from Jeffrey, he breaks it out, runs a quick little out route, he hits him. If that pass would have been thrown in stride, maybe you make a man miss. And you got a big play opportunity and potential for Oakland. Nonetheless, it doesn't happen. I formation. Jeffrey wide left, Patterson wide right. No Amari Cooper, as he will not play this game. He's injured. Marshawn Lynch done for the rest of the game. Jalen Richard is back in after an early fumble, but the Raiders are resilient, and Raider Nation is continuing to try and figure this out. Another quick throw to the flat to the fullback, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, Sonny. You want to give it a try?
Alawuli.
Absolutely. And do you want to use it in a sentence?
Awalawuli Wooly Bully.
There we go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now you sound like Delvar. That sounds like a sentence he would say about 12:30 at night, right before he heads to bed. Here we go. Oakland Raiders just past midfield, 39-yard line, approaching field goal range. Depending on the conditions in the wind, not too sure about it. Patterson in motion, handoff to Richard, nowhere to go. It's going to be a 3rd and about 7-8 yards for the Oakland Raiders.
The end around motion there just didn't fool anyone, and that's tough when you don't fool anyone there, because basically what you did was bring more guys into the box there, bringing that cornerback from outside to in.
So here we go. We end the first quarter. NBL Live broadcast number 145. Big shout out to web3cast.com. That's our sponsor. 3rd and 8 for the Raiders here. They've got 2 turnovers. Seattle has capitalized on both turnovers, put points on the board. They're up 10-0. Seattle will get the ball back at half, but all things considered, the Raiders are still in this game, and this is a must-win for both teams, so expect the Oakland Raiders to come out here and continue to fire away, and here they do. They try to make a wheel route to Richard, and it just seems like they're a little bit off. 4 for 7, 36 yards, nothing downfield, and they're going to attempt a field goal here. It's going to be about, what, a 57-yard field goal with Janikowski, and this is a guy who's won them, man, at least 4 or 5 games in the last 2 seasons on his big leg.
That's going to be close.
And it kicks up, and it's wide left. Wide left. Blair Walsh is in the building. It never hooked. You know those kicks, sometimes them kickers, you know, they kick and it goes like what we just saw.
Right.
And you wonder, did he think it was bending back? Or did he miss time to wind? Or how did this work out? And it looked like he just never got that bend back on the ball. Not enough English to get it kind of the curve back in. And now they give up some big field position. And they're 3 yards from midfield to start their drive. Tight formation, tight slots, Rawls in the backfield, Russell Wilson under center, making some changes. And here it goes. Here comes the rush from the Raiders, but no problem. Picked off Oakland. Picked off by Oakland. Here goes number 42 as he juices his way down to the 40. Horrible read by Russell Wilson, and that is what has plagued this Seattle Seahawks team in NBL season 27.
Yeah, that was a bad read there by Russell Wilson. And so throwing it into coverage, you get Oakland back on the field with the turnover. Look for Oakland to maybe take a shot here to Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, running a little halfback wheel against the cover 3. You can't hit the slot post. Obviously a cover 2 beater. Maybe that's what Russell thought he saw, or maybe he just thought he had the arm and he could squeeze it in here. Let's see what Oakland can get it back as they get the ball right back after a missed field goal from Janikowski. They're going to go downfield. They're looking to take their shot against the defense. Big hit from Cam Chancellor. Knocks the ball out from Cordarrelle Patterson. And Derek Carr, 4 for 8, 50% completion. This is not looking good. Most of his completions have came from the halfback, and a couple of throws have been off early for the Oakland Raiders.
And really, Derek Carr is just not looking comfortable. I know Jalen Richards fumbled earlier in this game, but you got to get him going again.
Derek Carr, 81.8 QBR, actually up from last year, and his completion percentage is only 58%. That has to be cleaned up for Oakland to have a chance and really make a run at a wild card spot and hold firm. As here we go, he lets it rip again, going downfield, trying to test this Seattle Seahawks. Do you believe this? Going right into the meat, to the teeth of the defense is the Oakland Raiders, and maybe Derek Carr feeling a little bit too fearless in that cold. Maybe his brain's feeling a little numb from the cold.
Derek Carr right now, you know, just not making those right decisions. I know you had one-on-one coverage out there. Safety help got over top. You're going to have to work underneath a little bit.
Work underneath is a common theme for most teams taking on this vaunted Seattle Seahawks defense. As Seattle goes into a quick timeout right here on a 3rd and 10. The snow's in favor of the Seattle Seahawks. It's like Seattle gets the ball, the snow goes away. Oakland gets the ball, it comes back. I mean, that's got to be planned. This is the best home field I've ever seen in NBL. What am I talking about? I just made that up. Completely made that up. That is not true. The snow's been going the entire time. Looks like Oakland's going to play it safe here. Potentially looking at a screen. No, they're going to audible out of it. Derek Carr making some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. This is where you get into trouble, Sonny. You're on the wrong side of the field. You're in a 3rd and long. Maybe this is an opportunity to play it safe, and they do. They go right back to the screen. They get rid of it, and they got some space. They're going to pick this up. Nice throw right there to Washington. Make a move, make a move. Gets down to the 32-yard line. Derek Carr, 5 for 10, 62 yards. Another completion to the halfback, but I absolutely like that play call.
Yeah, that was a great play call there. And what you're doing now is you're putting yourself in a position to score some points. You come away with points here no matter what it is. It's only a 1-score game. Feeling a lot better right now about this Oakland offense.
Here we go, I formation. You got Richard in the backfield, Patterson in motion. He's going to come from right to left. A little handoff, nowhere to go, and that's a big hit right there, number 57. And we'll talk about this linebacker core throughout the game. Has a little pushing and shoving going on right there. But you always notice Bobby Wagner, our player to watch for this game, he just seems to be almost everywhere. He didn't make the tackle there. I'm not saying he made the tackle, but I'm saying he's in the vicinity. He's leading this linebacker core, and he's making them better. And this run game has been completely, outside of one run, been completely non-existent.
Very much so. The running game so far for Oakland has just not been part of this.
Pistol formation, here we go. Derek Carr dropping back, looking over the middle, finds his man on a slant right between the hands and the chest of big-time $10 million per year, Alshon Jeffrey. And many question that signing of Alshon Jeffrey as he makes a drop there. Defense obviously was a little on him. Carr a little bit behind on the pass. But Jeffrey has lived up to expectation. Definitely lived up to a $10 million wide receiver. And with the injuries to Amari Cooper, it's kind of saved this season and provided this little bit of hope they have towards the end of the year.
Alshon Jeffrey's been the man here. That should have been put out a little bit more by Carr, though.
And here we go, looking over the middle, finds his man on a slant, but no, tipped by number 26, makes a nice play. It's going to be 4th and 12, and out comes Janikowski again. Part 2, or as they say in the movies, part 2. There it goes, it's up. And it's good. Janikowski's going to put them on the board, their first points of the game. He missed a field goal earlier. Derek Carr has an interception. Richard has a fumble. So 2 turnovers and a missed field goal, Sonny. And they're only down 7 with 4:34 left in the second. Their defense has forced 1 turnover to the Seattle Seahawks. From the Seattle Seahawks offense, excuse me. And now it's a 10-3 game. You're only down 7. Oakland, you have to feel kind of good about this. This isn't something you feel bad about. We've played bad. We're only down 7, but we're still right there.
Yeah, Oakland's definitely still in this game. Another turnover here by Russell Wilson could get you right back in this thing. If I'm Oakland right now, I'm not getting too crazy. I'm not pressing too much. Just sit back and wait for Seattle to make a mistake.
Bob the Boss says, first one to guess the number I'm thinking about gets a sub, 1 to 100. That's easy. 69 is what you're thinking of, Gronk. That's my number, son. You got a guess for that?
I'm going to go with 99 because it's just not quite 100.
There we go. And there we go. 99 and 69 is our guesses. Delvar, you want to give a guess? We'll shout it out there. Delvar's not even around. He's 100% playing another video game right now. Our producer is asleep at the wheel. We're going about 95 miles per hour, and he says we're good. We're fine. He's not even in the vehicle. Here we go. Shotgun formation. Russell Wilson looking back, dropping back, nowhere to go. He's trying to find the edge. They're going to have to put a contain on Russell Wilson because he's going there.
Boom.
Big hit, number 50. Lays down Russell, the love muscle. Wilson, he's down, but he's getting up. He's hyped. He's taking that hit, and he's saying, hey, we picked up the first down. That's all that matters. What do you think about going to a contain against the Seattle Seahawks deep offense?
I think you got to consider it. They like to run their quarterbacks a lot, but with that in mind, you know, I think you need pass rush. I think you need pressure. You need to make Russell Wilson feel uncomfortable. So I would actually go the other way and said rather than contain, I'd bring the pressure.
Bring the heat or contain. Hashtag, what do you guys think? Hashtag bring the heat. Hashtag contain. We've seen 2 runs from Wilson so far. Here's a handoff to Rawls. He tries to cut it right back up the middle, but nowhere to go. Big tackle by number 99. I believe that's Alden Smith for a 3-yard gain for Thomas Rawls. 2nd and 7 on their own 40-yard line as they approach midfield.
And Thomas Rawls so far in this game have played well. They had the 1 run there. We've got to figure out what we can do here to stop Oakland, or excuse me, Thomas Rawls if I'm Oakland.
Absolutely. You cut the head off the snake. Thomas Rawls is the head to this offense, the head of the snake. If you can shut down the run game, things will happen like what happened in the first quarter where Russell Wilson makes a horrible read and forces it down the field. As they try to get to the outside, another screenplay to Thomas Rawls. They put the ball in this guy's hands and they allow him to work. He is the all down, every down back, and he can catch out the backfield. He does a lot of things for the Seattle Seahawks offense.
Did you see who made that tackle there? Khalil Mack, our player to watch coming into this game. He's in coverage. He's rushing the passer. He's everywhere.
Yeah, when you got a linebacker like Khalil Mack who can rush the passer, as Sonny said, make a play on a screen play, make a tackle in the running game, and then drop into coverage and be just as phenomenal. It really is, franchise player on the defensive side of the ball. Here we go, Russell Wilson. 3rd and 8. He's looking nowhere to go, and here he goes again. He's scrambling. You got to get that container. You got to get some pressure on him as he rolls to the outside and picks up another first down for the Seattle Seahawks, and that's 2. That's 2. He's bailed him out with his legs.
Yeah, Russell Wilson quick to run so far tonight. It looks like if he's not seeing his first read, he's taking off. So now I think I'm going to agree with you a little bit. You put a spy or you put a container on him, you got to keep him in the pocket.
A little late to the party, though, Sonny. You've already given up 2 first downs.
Never too late.
Never too late. Big shout out in the chat to SCNL Network. What's going on, fellas? I hope everything is good on your end. It's a big low-cutting hit. Nice hit right there by the Oakland Raiders cornerback. And that's how you take out a big halfback. Emerson just lays the wood below the knee. Dangerous hit on Thomas Rawls, but that's the way you got to hit this big guy.
Got to take him out low if you're a cornerback. You just don't weigh enough to try to take him high. So you take him low, you take the feet out from underneath him, you stop the play.
2 minutes, 11 seconds left. And the Seattle Seahawks do get the ball to start the second half. Here we go, 2nd and 13. They're going to get the ball off, handoff. No, play action Jackson. He's looking to the right side, finds his man, who decides to get his feet in. He says, I'll take the catch. I don't need the yards. 3rd and 12 for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, not much happening there. Jihad Ward coming off the edge was right in the face. So Wilson just dumps it off, gets to live another day.
And here we go, another 3rd and long. Are they going to put the contain on him now? Are you going to put the contain on the Seattle Seahawks? Because you don't want to get burned for a 3rd time with Russell Wilson running the ball, just giving to him. This is a snow game. You got guys going 40 yards down the field. You have to think the elements isn't something he's really looking to throw that ball.
But I'm looking right now at some sort of spy-type formation just to keep him inside because I do want that good pass rush still.
Shotgun formation, tight set. Here goes Russell Wilson. Watch Jimmy Graham. He's in the slot on the right side. He's standing up. He bounced to the outside, had the corner open. He didn't hit it. Hits the flat, doesn't make a man miss. They get him out of bounds. And here's the opportunity Oakland was looking to have that entire drive. An opportunity before the half to drive down, score the ball, and tie this game back up. This is a team with 2 turnovers and a missed field goal, and they're only down 7. So if I'm Oakland right now, this possession is very important to me. A little bit of a 2-minute drill, and you have all 3 of your timeouts.
And really there, getting them out of bounds was a big deal because now, like I said, all 3 timeouts, plenty of time here for Oakland to drive down the field, score some points.
And it's not going to be easy. Great punt right there. They're going to be inside their own 11-yard line. And you got an opportunity right now to tie this game up. But also, you have to look at the flip side, son. A team that has turnover issues, this is an opportunity for you to get something bad to happen as well. So you have to be smart with the ball here if you're Derek Carr.
Yeah, you definitely do. I like that matchup there with Alshon Jeffrey, though, in the slot.
And here he goes. He's going to sit it, throw it over the top, but don't do that. Oh, slightly overthrown, but maybe for the better. Richard Sherman, man coverage on Alshon Jeffrey with Earl Thomas over the top. And you like that matchup, huh?
Yeah, I like that matchup. They were pressing him in the slot. He had a release. Now, what he didn't see was Earl Thomas shading over on top of him.
Earl Thomas still one of the better safeties in the NBL. Potential free agent upcoming. Hasn't been signed yet, but Jalen Richard got some space. He gets down. Looks like close to a first down, maybe inches. 3rd and inches. No, a first down for Jalen Richard. And big shout out, off topic now. Madden 18, I think they've done one thing really well. Spot of the ball. I feel like they fixed that. Have you noticed that as well? You don't see those guys when they get bounced back. Like forward progress, I feel like works a little bit better than it has like the last 3 years.
Well, it couldn't have worked much worse, so we'll go ahead and say they did get it right.
Yeah, it was absolutely made no sense. So it makes more sense now, and just that alone. A little angle route at the backfield, kind of thrown behind, and who makes the hit? Who makes the play on the ball right there, Sonny?
That'd be your man, Bobby Wagner.
That would be your man, Bobby Wagner. Because I'm more of a Richard Sherman kind of guy. Little press up in the slot. Think you got me. Earl Thomas will help over the top, baby. That's where I'm at with it. But Bobby Wagner obviously is everywhere right now. And a bad throw right there by Carr. I think he had a step on him, kind of threw it behind him. The elements might be getting to him. Here we go. Handoff again. Jalen Richard gets taken down. Big hit in the backfield, number 94. What a play, Sonny. To get in the backfield and get a tackle for loss on a play that kind of looked like it's set up to be a big opportunity here for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, I didn't really like that play call there by Oakland. You saw the safeties come down into the box. You had way too many guys in the box. I would check that to a pass.
And 3rd and 13, you don't want to get in trouble here. You're on the wrong side of the field. You don't want to get too greedy if you're Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders here. A minute 3 left. You're only down 7. Let's not compound this with a bad pass. But no, he slices and dices it into Alshon Jeffrey, but a drop by Jeffrey. And now Derek Carr 5 for 15. Now, do you put that on the wide receiver? I mean, that was a throw that might have been a catchable ball, but we're in the snow here. We're 25 yards down the field, and we got some of the best secondary in the league getting their hands and touching Alshon Jeffrey. They're touching him up a little bit. The aggressiveness is real. It's a nice over-the-shoulder catch there by number 84. Who is that guy? Is that Randy Moss? Nice catch, gets down to the 13-yard line. Well, who do you put that drop on?
Well, I think it's a little bit of on everybody. It was a tight hole for Derek Carr to try to put that one on. Alshon Jeffrey in position to make the catch. He does take that impact right away. The blame is shared all around. I think it's just a good play there by the secondary to break that up after he caught the ball.
Great defense by the secondary in Seattle. We'll be saying that a lot today. And, you know, here we go, guys. Here's what we're looking at. Shotgun formation. Seattle Seahawks, 48 seconds left. You press it down the field here, or you drop back, but Wilson says, I'm pressing it. We ain't got time for an answer. Hits an out route. Doesn't make a move. Possession, catches it with Jimmy Graham. I'd like to see Jimmy stay on his feet there. One man to beat, and you never know what can happen here. They go into a no-huddle shotgun formation again. Deborah is the guy who just did the kick return. He's got some speed on him. He's got some lightning on him. Let's watch if he can get across the field here. He doesn't. They're looking deep. They're looking deep. Big play going to be made. Almost intercepted, but at the same time almost caught by Doug Baldwin. And we got an injury report, injury timeout right now. Who's down, Sonny?
Somebody's down. It could be somebody there in the back. Maybe a lineman. Not sure. We'll have to get a report on that here in a second. But yeah, working Amara Darbo out of the slot. The guy's got some speed. He's got some skills. Look for him maybe here to get moved around a little bit and try to take one more shot downfield.
Here we go. 26 seconds left. This is the 6-7 Seattle Seahawks versus the 7-6 Oakland Raiders. Both teams looking to get into the playoffs. Seattle's trying to do it by winning the division. Oakland's trying to hang on for a wild card spot. There's 2 games remaining after this. We're currently in Week 15, NBL Season 27, as Thomas Rawls and the Seattle Seahawks say, let's just run the ball and take the time down, and let's go into halftime. We'll get the ball back to start the half.
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd see a timeout there from Oakland. Looks like Oakland's okay with going into half. Just one score down here. So the clock's going to tick under 10 seconds, it looks like.
And here we go. 13 seconds left, 3rd and 11. If you're Oakland right here, do you, you get a little aggressive on defense, or you just play it safe?
I think based on the formation here, I'm going to play off a little bit, not give up anything big.
And here we go, man, in motion. It's a wildcat play. Handoff. No, he should have handed it off. Why did he keep it? Why did he keep that pass? I mean, that handoff right there. That didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things. That's why he doesn't play quarterback normally.
As they try to run a little wildcat to get sneaky. They're going to get the ball to start this half. You go into these locker room. You're the Seattle Seahawks. What do you tell your team? How do you tell your team how they're performing, and what do you got to do better to extend this lead and get a little comfortable at home?
Well, if I'm Seattle, I'm trying to focus on the run a little bit. Got to get Thomas Rawls going here. Your offense has basically gone through him all game. And if I'm on the flip side, if I'm Oakland, I'm putting enough guys in the box. I feel like I can shut Thomas Rawls down. And I'm going to force Russell Wilson to try to make some throws down the field. And
if you're Seattle, you said, what do you tell Seattle's offense right now? A team that's kind of been
Thomas Rawls.
All about Thomas Rawls. Is there a way we can get Russell Wilson going outside of just running the ball? Is there any kind of pass plays, maybe a screen play, something to one of these speedy receivers to kind of get his confidence going?
No, I think Russell Wilson's broke.
Russell Wilson might be broke right now, but he is. Pitching it to the outside. He's got a man to miss, and there goes Thomas Rawls. That's what we're talking about, baby. down to the 39-yard line, and that's a whole lot of movement for about a 14-yard gain from Thomas Rawls. But Russell Wilson, back to him. We say he's broke, but this is a guy that carried this team to a championship last season, and he had some pretty nice games. He had a couple games over 300 yards. This year, we're not seeing it. We haven't seen a game over 200 yards passing from Russell Wilson. Wait for it. You ready for this? Since week 3 versus the Los Angeles Chargers, he threw for 256 yards. Does that surprise you? No, not at all.
Not at all.
Handoff up the middle, Rawls, no gain.
I'm not a fan of Russell Wilson. I feel like he relies a little too much on his legs here in NBL, and I think really, maybe they need to get him another weapon on the outside. I'm not sure Doug Baldwin and Amara Darboh are the kind of guys that can make those big downfield plays, but he just doesn't seem to do well in traffic.
Yeah, and the uses of Jimmy Graham has not been enough to warrant the contract that Jimmy Graham currently has as a throw to the flat against a hard flat, and somehow I think he just lost track of the ball. Russell Wilson 7 for 9, 67 yards. That looked like some hard flat coverage there potentially by the Oakland Raiders, and that should have been a pick six.
Yeah, really surprised. The cornerback misplayed that as it should have been read and picked off, but nonetheless, they do escape with a 4-yard gain.
And here we go, shotgun formation, Rawls to the right. Looks like a blitz coming off the right edge there for Russell Wilson. Against this Oakland Raider team, must win for both. It was a corner blitz, but he gets it away. He finds Jimmy Graham, but that ball is a dirt ball, a bad throw, a rush throw from Russell Wilson. Now, that's a big third down. You got a man open. You got to make that play.
Well, and the pressure started coming inside of his tackle. I think that may have been a time where you see Wilson roll out, but he tries to stay in the pocket, make the throw, but can't set his feet and throw that one.
Jimmy Graham making close to $10 million this year. 39 catches, 800 yards. No, 39 catches, 675 yards, and a couple touchdowns as a return to the 30-yard line for the Oakland Raiders, and that's a big stop. Start this second half with a 3-and-out. Maybe it wasn't a 3-and-out, but essentially not putting points on the board. And then, get the ball back and try to tie this game back up, and we got ourselves a ball game here, Sonny.
Yeah, we definitely have a game here. It's only a one-score game. Now, if I'm Oakland, I got to find a way to get the ball moving down the field. I think working underneath early on is going to help. Maybe some drags, maybe some slants, but find a way to work the ball underneath.
Walford in motion for the Oakland Raiders. Looks like it's going to be a play action here. Jalen Richard, he's dropping, looking to the sideline, finds his man Walford. Does he hang on to it? No, he does not. And the drops continue for Oakland. But I'll tell you one thing. These drops that are going to get marked down as a drop on the receiver, I don't know how much blame I'm giving the receiver here. Those are some tough catches to make.
They're tough catches. It's really because Seattle's sitting in the pocket of the wide receiver there, or the tight end in that case, and really not giving them much room to catch the ball and tuck it away.
And here we go. It looks like it's going to be a toss to the right here. And it looks like he's changing at the line of scrimmage. Derek Carr, single back formation, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a halfback for Derek Carr in this Oakland Raiders offense, which has been stagnant outside of the first drive, which ended in a fumble. They've had a missed field goal, 2 turnovers, a Derek Carr interception, a fumble from Richard that resulted in a benching of Marshawn Lynch as he gets to the outside, tries to juke his way, maybe gains 1 or 2. But talk about the crazy events that occurred in the first half. So we had a fumble from Richard, an interception from Carr, and then we also had Marshawn Lynch coming for exactly one play, I believe. He gets hurt. He's out for the game. And then Janikowski shanks a field goal, which, albeit a 50-plus yard field goal, but nonetheless, very interesting type of events for Oakland, and that kind of might define this season, at least the second half of it.
There's
another
been a
shot
lot
down the field right there, almost intercepted. Ooh. Another dangerous throw from Derek Carr, now 5 for 17 throwing. And wow, does this guy look like a quarterback throwing 58% this season?
No, and there's been
looks
some
less. Looks worse.
Right.
Yeah, than 58.
He's been worse than for 58. That was just another line of the follies that we've seen out of the Oakland offense so far in this game. They've not been able to really push the ball downfield. Most of their catches have been halfbacks out of the backfield or underneath routes. They need to look to do more of that. I would even look to maybe play the outs a little bit more down the field. You're getting a lot of man on first down. So take advantage of that. Some slants, some outs, some various routes there to really try to expose that man early, and then maybe take a shot a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'd like to see some screens get in. Some, as you said, some really just easy plays, easy rhythm developing plays for the Raiders offense to get them going. As nice pickup right there by Thomas Rawls. And that's another thing Thomas Rawls can do. Did you see what he did on that play? Instant shred on the defensive line. He steps up, makes a nice block, allows for that angle route to come out the backfield, and kind of saves the play. Little things you don't get marked in the box score as a halfback for. Thomas Rawls essentially does it all. I mean, one of the better backs in the NBL.
Yeah, and really one of the forgotten men here in this offense, Marcel Reese, with a nice catch and run there.
Marcel Reese, long-time veteran fullback spin move. Marshawn Lynch, no. Thomas Rawls, yes. I almost called him Lynch because that was a little surprising that he was able to even get back to the line of scrimmage there. And then he gains a little bit. Now they're going to be a 3rd and inches. Thomas Rawls. Wow, very impressive. And maybe, you know, Marcel Reese is somebody you can say former Oakland Raider, fullback, longtime veteran, could be one of the reasons why he's having the success, because he's just a great fullback for a halfback to have.
And you get Russell Wilson here rolling out again on 3rd and inches, looking downfield, taking off, and there he goes. And again, 3rd down, especially these 3rd and shorts, Wilson feels like he can easily pick them up or take a shot downfield. You've got to contain him here, especially on that 3rd and 5 and under.
Yeah, you got to see more contain, as it looked like it wasn't contained, though, on the cover 2 invert. They just didn't make a play. The Oakland Raiders right now have given up 3 first downs from Russell Wilson running. 2 of them have been 3rd and 8 or longer. That one was a 3rd and inch. It's going to be a handoff. No, quarterback keeper. No, he didn't think he would have it. And down he goes. I think that's Heaney with a big tackle, and that's going to be that should be a sack, right?
No, that's a run. No, that's a run, an inverted veer, so it's a handoff position. Kind of a weird, play to see, but nonetheless, they run blitz that and take them out in the backfield.
And it looked right there that Russell Wilson actually kept it and then thought, oh, crap, why did I keep it? And now he's sitting in the pocket, and he had nowhere to go and didn't want anything to do with it. It's another 2nd and 12 as Seattle consistently putting themselves in these long routes. They find their man, Jimmy Graham, their #1 receiver, $10 million a year, makes another big catch, 9 for 12, 92 yards. So we're kind of seeing 2 sides of the coin here. Not really. Go ahead.
You keep bringing up Jimmy Graham's contract. I feel like maybe I'm getting a hint that you feel like he could be overpaid.
Well, I know Eric Ebron looks at that Jimmy Graham. He wants the Jimmy Graham money. It just ain't happening. So I blame Jimmy Graham for the downfall of the contract negotiations between the Detroit Lions and Eric Ebron. Is that all right? Is it all right to have some kind of bias here as he throws it to the flat to Doug Baldwin, tackled by Amerson, gets down to the 49. But Russell Wilson, 10 for 13, 96 yards, and we wouldn't say he's having a great game. But on the flip side of that coin, you got Derek Carr, 5 for 17, not even 50 yards on the game. And, you know, you look at these two ball clubs, very similar, but yet very different. So even when Russell Wilson's 9 for 12, it's not like it's allowing them to pull away in this game. As if Derek Carr was 9 for 12, I feel like Oakland would have a lead. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if Oakland had been able to complete much down the field, they'd have a lead in this game. They've just been unable to do that as Thomas Rawls trucks someone there. But nonetheless, shout out to Porter there, take a drink. That's not the case. Oakland can't find the offense, and if they have any chance to win this game, they got to get a stop here. And then at some point, someone's going to step up and try to score some points.
Yeah, we need to see some big plays here from Oakland on both sides of the ball as it winds down. We're about to head into the 4th quarter. According to NBL rules, though, you cannot milk the clock till under 2 minutes left in the entire game. So we still have a lot more football to be played, a lot more possession to have. Toss to the outside. Thomas Rawls trying to find the edge. Stiff arm, down to the 36-yard line. 14 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown. And how impressed. Is Thomas Rawls a top 3 halfback in the NBL? What do you think about that? Off the top of your head, first thing that comes to your mind, top 3, yes or no?
No.
No, top 5?
No.
Not even top 5. Well, who's top 3?
There's a lot of options. I like Dalvin Cook. I like Le'Veon Bell. Melvin Gordon, I think, is up there. Even Christian McCaffrey when healthy.
I still think McCaffrey, man, it's just his health is so vital towards your success. And I just see him going down. I mean, what have we seen Panthers on 3 NBL Live games? And I think he's gone down in every one. I don't think there's one he's gotten through the game where he's at least not ever had the prompt of he suffered some type of injury.
Well, he is in fact a little injury prone, but nonetheless, when you get something out of him, it tends to be a pretty good showing from him.
Absolutely can't deny that. Christian McCaffrey and those Carolina Panthers are making a run led by rookie quarterback Joyce, man. It's been phenomenal since the departure and the moving on from Cam Newton. Spin move by Thomas Rawls, unnecessary. Could have kind of slowed down there, right? Maybe did a little change of pace and bounced it back inside, but no. Continues to try to make an excessive juke is what I call those. And it ended up being the reason why he went down. Do you think he could have just changed direction there, kind of slowed down and used that block to give him an angle to the end zone?
I think that was the better option there. I'm a little surprised, though, by Oakland running a dime formation against these heavier sets.
And here we go, I formation again for the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to run a little counter to the outside spin move there. That one looked really nice. Thomas Rawls is one of those halfbacks you just don't see that really takes tackles for losses. It seems like he always finds a way to get back to the line of scrimmage and fall forward for a yard or two, and that's very vital for a team that struggles in 3rd and long. If you can chip away and hand the ball off to him and he at least gives you something positive, you don't find yourself in those 3rd and long situations as often as you could have.
And look at the 2nd and 8 here. You get Russell Wilson in the shotgun set. Watch for a possible run here by Wilson.
And here we go, shotgun formation on the 20-yard line. Play action, looking over. No, he throws it to the outside. Is that you're going to call intentional grounding? No, that's offensive pass interference. They called a little pick play, I think. I don't know what that was. 2nd and 18 for the Seattle Seahawks. Kind of a big break for the Oakland Raiders.
You had wide receivers blocking downfield. It was a screen pass, but Wilson throws it downfield, and your wide receivers taking guys past the 1-yard cushion that you're allowed to block in. Bad play there by the wide receivers.
And it's going to put them in a 2nd and long. And as I said earlier, a team that really struggles against down and distance being long, they don't have the vertical attack to really get these situations kind of nailed in. So we'll see what they do. Maybe they'll just try to run the ball and settle themselves for a field goal to go up 2 possessions. Here we go. Man in motion is going to be handoff up the middle to Rawls, and they look like they pass committed. Everybody got pancaked down to the 19-yard line. Surprised by that call to stay in this dime formation against these big sets, 2 wide receiver sets of the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm shocked that Oakland feels the need to go dime when you have an offense that can't really throw the ball. I'd be in base formation the whole time, because really what's happening is you're getting blown up by Thomas Rawls in this running attack. Stay out of dime. Make them throw against your base set.
And here we go, shotgun formation. Thomas Rawls offset to the right. And 3rd and 6. So they took a 2nd and extremely long, 2nd and 18. Now they got into a 3rd and manageable inside the red zone. Let's see what the Seattle Seahawks can do. Russell Wilson dropping back. He's looking all the time in the world. He finds his man, gets up the field. Jimmy Graham says, I'm worth $10 million. But then he goes down. Is that Jimmy Graham down or is that a Raider down? But it's going to be a 1st down nonetheless. What about the time in the pocket there for Russell Wilson against this Raiders defense?
He's getting a lot of time. But one thing we haven't seen in this game is Khalil Mack really getting pressure on the quarterback, something I think you're going to have to see if you want to win this game.
I formation. Here comes the Seattle Seahawks handoff. Thomas Rawls trying to find the edge, and Aldon Smith makes maybe the touchdown-saving presence. I don't know if he made the tackle, but him being there made Thomas Rawls go down as he was getting grabbed from behind him from a defensive lineman of the Oakland Raiders. And here we go inside the red zone, 2nd and 9. This is a prime opportunity for a screenplay for Seattle, especially the way this offense is built.
Yeah, screen pass or, again, another Russell Wilson run.
And here we go on the 12-yard line, 2nd and 9. Russell Wilson tossed to the outside again. Rawls looking, spinning back inside, nowhere to go. Big tackle by number 22. It's going to be a 3rd and 10 for the Seattle Seahawks.
3rd and 10 for Seattle here. Now, if I'm Seattle, I'm thinking maybe I just kneel it out. Maybe. I don't try to do a whole lot. I just make sure I kick this field goal, and I know I go up 2 scores with short time.
All right, here we go, guys. 3rd and 10, handoff to Thomas Rawls to the outside, spin move. He's got space. He tries to truck his way down to the 7-yard line. Thomas Rawls, 20 carries, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, and it's now a 4th and 5, and they're going to be kicking this field goal to try to go up 13-3.
Yeah, they're attempting the field goal here with just around 3 minutes left in this game. And a field goal here makes this a 2-possession game, and it's up and it's good. And so now Seattle leads Oakland 13-3, and this is an Oakland offense that's really been inept all week.
Absolutely. You only got 3 points. There's 3 minutes left. It kind of would take a miracle at this point for them to come back, especially against a defense that has what we like to say, one of the better secondaries in the NBL. So you'd have to do it through the air to save the time, and you need 2 possessions. Is this something you think Oakland can actually accomplish right now, especially without Amari Cooper? 13-3, a stagnant offense that's been struggling for the last 6 games. Is this kind of the end of the season for the Oakland Raiders?
Yeah, a loss here probably does take them out of the playoff hunt. Now, if I'm looking to try to score quickly here, though, I'm looking to try to get some sort of crossing pattern here between Cordell Patterson and Alshon Jeffrey.
And here we go, dropping back. Derek Carr looking, got some time, finds his man on a little drag route. That's Alshon Jeffrey trying to get out of bounds. Maybe should have picked up the extra yard. 6 for 18, 71 yards and an interception. Pretty bad performance thus far for Derek Carr, but we've seen crazier things happen, and he might be able to turn it around right now. As a quick timeout for Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yeah, big mistake there by Seattle. I know you want to make sure you have the right play, but clock is running. Oakland needs a couple possessions. You give them a free timeout there. Now they've got 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning. You're really helping out a team that the clock is not their friend.
Yeah, you know what I want to see right now? Just throw it up there to Alshon Jeffrey. Let's get this show on the road and see what can happen. Here we go. Looking over the middle of the field, dropping back. Carr's got his man over the middle, wide open against that cover 2 man. Richard Sherman gets beat on the post, and that was a nice throw and a nice play for the Oakland Raiders.
Alshon Jeffrey coming up big there.
Handoff again, Jalen Richard to the outside, and they got themselves in scoring range, Sonny. Now here's a point I want to bring up. As the clock is ticking down to this 2 minute, do you just settle for the field goal once you get surefire inside of that range? You got 3 timeouts, or are you trying to go for the whole enchilada and get yourself 7?
We're going big right here.
Going big or going home, Sonny Weaver says is another drag route, and they're picking up the pace. 8 for 20. He's completed 2 of his last 3 passes, or 3 of his last 3 passes. 10 passes, 20 rushes. Right now, that's the breakdown for the Oakland Raiders, and here we go. Shotgun formation, empty backfield. He's looking over the middle. He finds his man over the middle. He gets hit and clobbered, and that was Jalen Richard, and he dropped that ball. I mean, that's a drop that I'm not going to say is on the halfback. That's a tough catch to try to make.
And Derek Carr. Big miss there. Cordell Patterson running down the slot. He took on Cam Chancellor, shed Cam Chancellor. He was running free into the end zone. He sees him there, and that's a touchdown.
Didn't look there, was looking for his halfback. Here we go, shotgun formation. Going to be a handoff, trying to catch him off guard, and they almost did. They almost did. He's still on his feet. Jalen Richard down to the 20, to the 18-yard line. What do you think about that run? The clock is ticking, but they still have 3 timeouts.
They got to keep moving down the field here.
Derek Carr dropping back, looking over the middle of the field, nowhere to go. He's going to have to throw this one away. Unless he tries to make a miracle happen, he does. Throws across his body, almost intercepted, almost caught, and dropped. That was a dangerous throw that probably would have ended this game.
Yeah, and Alshon Jeffrey just didn't seem to be aware where the ball was. It looked like he could have made a play on that ball, even off the tip, but he just didn't seem to notice it.
I don't know if that ball was even intended for Alshon Jeffrey, but nonetheless, it would be nice to see him make a play here. Here goes Janikowski. He missed one earlier. The kick is up. It's barely in. It's good. 13-6. You're down 7. You got 3 timeouts. They're going for the onside. Do you onside kick it here, son?
You shouldn't be onside kicking here. You have 3 timeouts. You've got to stack the box and get that. Instead, they're going to get in position.
Well, Raider Nation football feels differently. They kick it off, and it is picked up, and they lose the field position. Now, you can't give up, what do you say, 5-6 yards here, and you're pretty much giving them a field goal. You're the Raider defense.
I'm not sure which way the wind's blowing here. I know it's a pretty strong wind. If that wind is in the face, you may need maybe 10 yards here to complete this kick. So, if
that is the situation, Sonny, do you feel that maybe the onside kick wasn't as bad of a play in this situation then?
Well, I think it still is, because you know this team's going to be Thomas Rawls the whole way. So you stack the box, and then when you get the ball back, you're in a better position. Now you're in a position where you're probably going to be pinned inside your own 10, even if you get the ball back.
Strong formation, Russell Wilson, Thomas Rawls, and the fullback we mentioned earlier, Marcel Reese, tossed to the outside again to Thomas Rawls. He gets it down to the 38-yard line. Another toss to Rawls. A lot of outside opportunities here for the Seattle Seahawks.
We get Thomas Rawls matched up against a cornerback or a safety, and that's a mismatch. You run him in between the tackles against the linebacker. His power is not as easy to see, so they're using him on the edge against these lighter guys. Now, look for Oakland here to try to stack the box with a little heavier set.
Might just be the case. 2nd and 6 on the 38, and this is an opportunity where Oakland has to tell themselves, we cannot give up any more yards. We need to make a stop now, but we want to actually try to get a big play here. Try to get ourselves an opportunity to get this ball back, but we cannot give up any more positive yardage as we're trying to keep them out of field goal range and not just stop them. Handoff, Rawls tries to bounce it outside, nowhere to go. Gain of 0. That's exactly what you wanted if you're Oakland. Quick timeout, 3rd and 6. What do you come out here and do if you're Seattle in this situation, Sonny?
I run some sort of base formation, but I make sure I have a spy on Russell Wilson. I think that's the biggest thing you have to do here. I could easily see him running some sort of boot with a run-pass option, giving Wilson a chance to go off the edge, throw it, or either hang in there and maybe try to make that throw.
Yeah, we've seen Russell Wilson pick up first downs throughout this game. He's picked up 3 with his feet already. This might be number 4. Strong formation, flip to the left side this time. Another toss to the outside. Back-to-back tosses, big hit down to the 38, and down goes Thomas Rawls. 4th and 6. Are you surprised by that? That's like the 5th toss we've seen this game.
Yeah, like I said, they're trying to get Rawls on the edge. It looks to be the center point of their offensive attack is Rawls on the edge in space. And so now a big field goal coming up here for Seattle.
And here we go. This is going to be a 55-yard field goal, number 7, trying to punch in 3 to end this game. Can he do it? Is he nervous? The kick's up and shake. It's a shake. Shake from Seattle, and Oakland has life. No timeouts, 1:14 left. Are we about to see one of the craziest game comebacks in NBL history if Carr can drive his team down the field and put some points on the board?
It's definitely a possibility here. If I'm Seattle, I kick that punt, and I try to pin them deep. Now you give him great field position here.
Play action. He's rolling to the outside. Carr, no, looking over the middle. Intercepted by Seattle. That's going to end the game. Bad pass by Derek Carr as he just forced it over the middle of the field off of play action. And the defensive lineman, oh, is that an offensive player?
That's defensive Kyle Williams.
Kyle tackle. Williams went down. He was the one that went down on that toss on the last plays. Yeah, former Buffalo Bill, if I'm right.
Correct.
I know I am. I always am. 13-6, Seattle's going to win this game. They're going to improve to 7-7 on the season as they move closer to taking that NFC West. Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders are going to fall to a tough 7-7, and that might put them out the wild card chase in the AFC. What do you think about that, Sonny? Are Raiders still alive here?
I'm not sure. I think it's going to take at least a 10-6 to get into the playoffs. 9-7 is a little bit of pipe dream, and I'm just not sure that's going to be an option here for the Raiders.
All right, as this game winds down, they're going to take a knee here to finish it completely out as he pulls it down. There was a little bit of bad blood between these two teams.
Maybe a little bit, but if I'm Oakland, I'm not feeling like I put up much of a fight here.
So at the end of every game, we do a player of the game. Sonny, where's your mind at? Who do you think on Seattle really stuck out to you and said, man, that was the guy this game? I obviously have my thoughts. I think we're on the same page with this. But it's got to be Thomas Rawls. As Delvar's yelling Thomas Rawls, but I know for a fact he was not here to watch at least 80% of this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Delvar was looking at. Thomas Rawls, no, just kidding. Thomas Rawls was, in fact, the player of the game. I felt like he commanded this offense and really did all the dirty work. Russell Wilson not very impressive in this game. This was Thomas Rawls' show from start to finish.
And as it winds down, I mean, is there an opportunity here for Seattle? If they win their division, they're going to have that home field advantage round 1. Do they really have an opportunity to, make a playoff run like they did last year and try to repeat as champions and defend that crown they won in NBL Season 26?
Well, I mean, it all depends if somebody shows up on the other side of the ball. I know last year it seemed like New York did not even show up to the game. If that happens again, I could definitely see Seattle winning another title.
You never count out the heart of a champion. In one run, anything can happen. Thank you for tuning in, guys. This has been NBL Live broadcast number 145. I was joined alongside my co-host, Sonny, and behind the scenes, pulling the strings was Delvar. Make sure you tune into our Twitter account at Bomber League to find upcoming NBL Live games, as we'll be going live in Week 16. I don't know if we have the game yet, Sonny. We're still trying to figure out who we're going to put on. I think we have – what were the other options you were giving us?
I think there's some options out there. I think Indianapolis versus Cleveland, which could be the other part of this wild card puzzle we're talking about in the AFC. The winner of that could very well be our wild card contender.
potentially would be the game next week. Expect probably on Monday, Tuesday to be a live stream for us on this network. And Building the Franchise Detroit Lions will come out tomorrow night as usual. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the MBL Network.